Hello, everyone. Today I speak not as someone who has all the answers, but as someone who has traveled a long road, a journey filled with love, loss, triumph, and regret. And if there is one undeniable truth that life has taught me, it is this: the value of life is not measured by wealth, achievements, or status, but by the depth of our experiences and the love we share. Too often, we chase after things that promise fulfillment, only to realize too late that they leave us feeling empty. We postpone joy, waiting for the right moment to appreciate life, to cherish the people we love, or to follow our dreams, never realizing that time does not wait for us. I don't want you to reach a day when you look back and wonder why you waited. So today, I want to share with you the lessons that have shaped me, in the hope that they bring meaning to your own journey. Before we begin, I'd really appreciate it if you like this video. It helps me keep sharing more important lessons. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend hitting the subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Also, if you enjoy this video, please comment 1. If you don't, comment 0 so I know how to improve. Now, let's get started. 1. Where does true happiness come from? Happiness is one of life's greatest pursuits, yet so many people spend their lives searching for it in places where it cannot be found. When I was younger, I believed happiness came from success, achieving goals, earning recognition, and reaching milestones that society told me were important. And for a time, those things did bring satisfaction. But what I did not realize then was that this kind of happiness was temporary. The moment I reached one goal, another took its place. No matter how much I achieved, I kept searching for more, convinced that the next success would finally bring me lasting joy. It never did. I have seen so many others fall into this same trap, believing that happiness is something external, something earned, something just out of reach. Some believe wealth will bring them peace, only to find that beyond financial security, money does little to fill an emotional void. Others tie their happiness to status, thinking that once they reach a certain level of success, they will finally feel fulfilled. But I have met highly successful individuals who, despite their accomplishments, still feel a deep emptiness inside. And then there are those who believe that happiness means a life without difficulties, that if they could just avoid pain, setbacks, or struggles, they would be happy. But the truth is, no one can escape life's challenges. Even the happiest people I know have faced hardship, grief, and failure. What sets them apart is not a perfect life, but a different perspective. They do not measure happiness by what they have or by a life free of troubles. Instead, they find happiness in the way they experience life itself, in gratitude, in meaningful relationships, and in living with purpose. That, I have learned, is where true happiness comes from. It took me years to understand that happiness is not something you can chase. It is something you must cultivate from within. For so long, I believed that happiness was tied to success, to possessions, to accomplishments. But the moment I stopped searching for it in external things and started appreciating the life I already had, everything changed. That shift in perspective was one of the most important lessons I ever learned, and it's the lesson I want to share with you today. True happiness does not come from what you have, it comes from how you see your life. It begins with peace of mind. The moment I stopped comparing myself to others and measuring my worth by society's standards, I found a sense of calm that no amount of money or success could ever provide. I realized that joy is not about striving to be someone else, but about accepting yourself as you are. We live in a world that constantly tells us we need more wealth, more success, more recognition. But the happiest people I have ever met are not the ones who have everything. They are the ones who have learned to be content with what they have. They do not waste their days wishing for a different life. They appreciate the one they are living. Another source of true happiness is meaningful relationships. Looking back, the moments that brought me the greatest joy were never about money, status, or achievements. They were about the people I loved, the laughter of close friends, the warmth of family, the quiet conversations with those who truly understood me. These were the treasures that made life beautiful. Yet, I have seen too many people neglect their relationships in pursuit of success, only to realize too late that no achievement can replace the presence of a loved one. If you want to be happy, cherish the people in your life. Make time for them. Tell them you love them. Because at the end of the day, it is love that gives life its meaning. And finally, happiness comes from living with purpose. When I stopped focusing solely on what I could gain and started asking how I could contribute, whether by helping others, sharing wisdom, or making even a small difference, I felt a fulfillment that no material success had ever given me. True happiness is not about having more. It's about living with a full heart. If you're still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment below to let me know you're still here with me. Thank you for taking the time to watch. 2. Enjoy the present instead of waiting for the future. We spend so much of our lives waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the right circumstances, waiting for some distant future where happiness will finally arrive. I used to believe that happiness was something you earned, something that came later, after the hard work was done. I told myself, once I have more money, once I have more time, once I have everything in order, then I will finally enjoy life. But the years passed, and I began to see the heartbreaking truth: there is no perfect time. Life does not pause while we prepare to live it. Time moves forward, whether we are ready or not. I have known people who spent decades saving for retirement, dreaming of all the places they would visit, all the experiences they would have once they were finally free. But when that time came, some found that their health had faded, their energy was gone, and the people they had planned to share their future with were no longer there. I had a dear friend who worked tirelessly, always telling his wife, "One day, we'll take that trip." But one day never came, because life had other plans. He never got to see the joy on her face as she stood in the place she had always dreamed of visiting. And that, I think, is one of life's greatest tragedies, not just losing what we have, but realizing too late that we never truly lived. Happiness is not waiting for you in the future. It is here, right now. It is in the moments we so often overlook, the simple joys, the quiet beauty of everyday life. The smell of fresh coffee in the morning, the laughter of a grandchild, the warmth of the sun on your face, these are the moments that make life rich. But too often, we are so busy looking ahead that we fail to see what's right in front of us. We chase a better tomorrow and, in doing so, miss the beauty of today. The greatest lesson I have learned is that life is happening now. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. And yet, so many people put off truly living, believing there will always be time later. But time is the one thing we never get back. I have met people who spent years saying, "I'll spend more time with my family once things settle down," only to wake up one day and realize their children had grown up, their parents had aged, and the moments they thought they had plenty of were gone. But living in the present does not mean ignoring responsibilities or forgetting about the future. It means recognizing that happiness is not something waiting for you down the road. It is already here, in the life you are living. When you drink a cup of coffee, really taste it. When you take a walk, feel the breeze on your face. When you sit with a loved one, put your phone away and truly be there. Because these moments, the ones we so often rush through, are the moments we will one day look back on and wish we had savored more. I have also learned that we must say yes to the things that truly matter. Too often, we say, "Not now" to joy. We postpone experiences, believing there will be time later. But joy should not be something we plan for the future. It should be something we embrace in the present. Say yes to the trip, even if it's not perfect. Say yes to the dinner with friends, even when life feels busy. Say yes to love, to laughter, to the small, fleeting joys of life. Because in the end, happiness is not a destination, it is a choice. A choice to stop waiting. A choice to embrace life as it is. A choice to live now. If you're still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment 3 below to let me know you're still here with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 3. How to live without regrets. Regret is a heavy burden to carry. Yet so many people reach the later years of their lives not haunted by the mistakes they made, but by the things they never did. I have seen it time and time again, people who spent their lives playing it safe, postponing their dreams, holding back their true feelings, only to look back with sorrow and whisper, if only I had spent more time with the people I love. If only I had pursued what truly mattered to me. If only I had dared to live on my own terms instead of worrying about what others thought. But the truth is, regret does not come from failing. It comes from never trying at all. One of the greatest regrets people have is not spending enough time with their loved ones. I have known people who worked tirelessly, convinced that their sacrifices would one day allow them to enjoy more time with their families. But time is not something we can save and withdraw later. We assume our parents, our siblings, our children, and our friends will always be there. But life has a way of taking them from us before we are ready. I have attended funerals where people wept, not just from grief, but from the pain of unfinished conversations, unspoken words, and missed moments. I have seen elderly parents sit in silence, longing for the voices of children too busy to visit. I have seen children grow up wishing they had just a little more time with parents who were always working, always occupied, always saying, "Maybe later." But later doesn't always come. Another deep regret is not following one's dreams. I have spoken with many older people who once had passions, things that lit a fire in their hearts, but fear and responsibility held them back. They told themselves, "One day, I will write that book. One day, I will start that business. One day, I will take that leap." But for many, one day never arrived. And perhaps the most heartbreaking realization is that fear stops more people than failure ever could. I have met individuals who lived their entire lives in the shadow of what others expected of them. They spent years making choices not for themselves, but to please their parents, their spouses, their employers, or even society. They silenced their own dreams, swallowed their true feelings, and became who the world wanted them to be, only to wake up one day and realize they no longer recognized themselves. And the saddest part? Many of them admitted that the people they were trying to please weren't even watching. They spent a lifetime chasing approval, only to realize that they had lost themselves in the process. Regret often comes from not expressing emotions when it mattered most. I have known people who lost someone they loved without ever telling them how they truly felt, whether it was love, gratitude, or even an apology. I have seen people cry over letters they never sent, words they never said, and embraces they never gave. We always think we have more time to make things right, to mend broken relationships, to say "I love you" one more time. But time is unpredictable, and the most painful regrets are the things left unsaid. If you love someone, tell them now. If you need to forgive someone, do it today. Because you never know when your last conversation will be. So how do you live without regrets? You live boldly. You spend time with the people who matter, without waiting for a better time. You follow your dreams, no matter how small or unconventional they seem. You express love freely, without hesitation. And most importantly, you live in a way that, when your final day comes, you can look back and say, I truly lived. Because in the end, life is not about avoiding mistakes. It's about making sure you don't leave behind unfinished dreams, unspoken words, and unlived moments. If you're still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment below to let me know you're still here with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 4. How simplicity brings peace. As I have grown older, I have come to understand that less is often more. When we are young, we believe that happiness comes from having more money, more achievements, more possessions, more commitments. We fill our lives with busyness, mistaking productivity for purpose. But as the years pass, many of us realize that this constant chase does not bring fulfillment. It brings exhaustion. I once believed that success was about how much I could accomplish, how much I could own, how much I could prove to the world. But life has a way of teaching us that peace does not come from accumulation. It comes from simplification. The happiest people I know are not those with the most, but those who have learned to need the least. I have seen people spend their entire lives acquiring things, only to reach old age surrounded by possessions but lacking true joy. They have houses filled with furniture, closets overflowing with clothes, garages packed with cars, but their hearts remain empty. I have known people who worked tirelessly, chasing bigger paychecks, believing that financial security would bring them peace. But no matter how much they earned, it was never enough. They missed birthdays, anniversaries, and precious family moments, always telling themselves they were building a future where they could finally enjoy life. But time does not wait. And too often, that future never comes. I have learned that true peace comes from letting go of the belief that we need to do everything, have everything, and be everything. Letting go of unnecessary stress, self-imposed obligations, and the weight of worrying about things we cannot control. I used to say yes to everything, afraid of disappointing others. But with time, I have realized that saying no is an act of self-respect. We do not have to please everyone, and we do not have to carry burdens that were never meant for us to bear. Sometimes, the greatest peace comes from stepping back, breathing deeply, and choosing a simpler, quieter path. The beauty of simplicity is that it allows us to see life more clearly. When we strip away the unnecessary, we begin to recognize what truly matters. Instead of chasing endless possessions, we start cherishing experiences. Instead of filling our time with obligations that drain us, we create space for the people and activities that bring us joy. I have met people who, after years of accumulating wealth and status, decided to downsize their lives, selling their large homes, letting go of material possessions, and prioritizing meaningful moments over material things. And do you know what they all say? That they have never felt freer. I have also learned that simplicity is not just about decluttering our homes, it's about decluttering our minds and hearts. Many people carry stress over things they cannot change. They obsess over the opinions of others, dwell on past mistakes, and lose sleep over an uncertain future. But in the end, most of these worries steal our peace without adding anything of value to our lives. I used to replay old regrets in my mind, carrying the weight of what I should have done differently. But the past cannot be changed, and the future cannot be controlled. What I can control is how I choose to live today. And when I learned to let go of the unnecessary, both in my home and in my heart, I found a sense of peace I had never known before. So, how do we embrace simplicity? We begin by focusing on what truly matters: our health, our relationships, our sense of inner peace. We let go of what does not serve us, whether it's material clutter, toxic relationships, or self-imposed pressures. And most importantly, we remind ourselves daily that life's greatest joys are often found in the simplest moments: a quiet morning, a warm conversation, a deep breath of gratitude. In the end, a peaceful life is not about having more. It's about needing less and appreciating more. 5. How to find meaning in life. A meaningful life is not measured by how much we accomplish, but by how deeply we live. I used to believe that meaning came from achievements, titles earned, wealth accumulated, goals reached. But as the years passed, I came to realize that the most fulfilled people are not always the most successful by society's standards. They are the ones who live with purpose, who wake up each day knowing that their lives matter, that their actions contribute to something greater than themselves. I have met people who, despite their modest lives, radiate contentment because they have built lives of love, kindness, and purpose. And I have known wealthy, powerful individuals who feel empty because, despite all their success, they never truly lived for something meaningful. In the end, meaning is not about how much we achieve, it's about how much we give, how much we connect, and how much we grow. One of the greatest sources of meaning in life is creating value for others. I have learned that when we give, whether it's time, wisdom, kindness, or care, we enrich not only the lives of others but our own. I once met an elderly man who spent his mornings helping children cross the street safely on their way to school. It was a simple act, but you could see the joy in his eyes. He told me, "I may not have much, but I know I'm making a difference, and that makes my life worthwhile." Meaning is not about how much we have, it is about how much we give. And sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness create the greatest impact. Another key to a meaningful life is nurturing relationships. I have met people who, despite all their success, feel lonely because they never took the time to build true connections. Meaning is found in love, in friendship, in the bonds we create with those around us. At the end of life, it won't be our bank accounts or accomplishments that bring us comfort. It will be the hands we held, the people we laughed with, and the love we shared. A meaningful life is also one of continuous growth. I have met people in their later years who still carry a spark in their eyes because they never stopped learning, growing, and discovering. Growth gives us a sense of purpose. It reminds us that life is not just about existing, but about evolving. I have known people who picked up new hobbies in their 70s, who started learning a language or playing an instrument simply because it brought them joy. And do you know what they all say? That it makes them feel alive. Meaning is not about reaching a final destination. It is about embracing the journey, about finding excitement in learning, growing, and becoming more of who we are meant to be. Another essential piece of a meaningful life is passion. It doesn't have to be something grand. Sometimes, meaning is found in the small things that bring us joy. I know a woman who spends her mornings tending to her garden, nurturing every flower and tree as if they were a part of her soul. She once told me, "This is my purpose, to create beauty, even in small ways." And I have met artists, writers, musicians, people who may not be famous, but who create simply because it fills their hearts with joy. Passion fuels the soul, and when we do something that truly brings us happiness, we find meaning in the process. A meaningful life is not something we find, it is something we create. It is not about waiting for purpose to arrive, it is about choosing to live with intention, connection, and gratitude. Because in the end, meaning is not found in what we own, but in how we live, love, and grow. Finally, meaning comes from acceptance. learning to let go of what we cannot control. I have spent too many years trying to change things that were never mine to change, chasing perfection in a world that was never meant to be perfect. But when I finally learned to accept life as it is, rather than how I wished it to be, I found peace. Meaning is not about having a flawless life. It is about embracing every part of it, the joys and the sorrows, the triumphs and the trials, and understanding that every moment, no matter how small, has value. Because in the end, the meaning of life is not found in one grand achievement, but in the thousands of small, beautiful moments we choose to truly live. As I look back on my life, I do not see it as a collection of accomplishments, but as a journey of moments, some joyful, some painful, all meaningful. I have learned that the true value of life is not measured by what we own, what we achieve, or how many years we live. It is measured by how deeply we love, how fully we experience each moment, and how much of ourselves we give to the world. Too many people spend their lives chasing things that, in the end, do not matter. They wait for the perfect time to be happy, only to realize, too late, that happiness was always within their reach. They postpone their dreams, hold back their feelings, and live in fear of regret, until regret is all they have left. But you don't have to live that way. You have the power to choose a meaningful life now. Let go of the need to impress others, and instead, focus on what truly fulfills you. Stop waiting for happiness, and start embracing the moments that make life beautiful, whether it's a conversation with a friend, a quiet morning with a loved one, or the deep satisfaction of doing something that matters. Simplify your life, clear out the distractions, and focus on what brings you real joy. And most importantly, love deeply, speak your heart, and give without expecting anything in return. Because at the end of your journey, what will matter most is not what you had, but how you lived. So live now. Love now. Be present now. Fill your life with meaning, so that when your final day comes, you can look back without regret and say, I truly lived. Because that, my friends, is the greatest gift life has to offer. If there is one message I want to leave with you today, it is this: life is precious, and time is fleeting. None of us know how many days we have left, but we do know this: every single day is a chance to live with meaning, to love without hesitation, and to appreciate the beauty around us. Don't waste your life chasing things that will not matter in the end. Don't wait for tomorrow to say what should be said today. Don't let fear stop you from following your heart. The greatest tragedy is not growing old. It is reaching the end of your life and realizing that you never truly lived. So I ask you, what will you do with the time you have left? Will you let it slip away in worry, hesitation, or in the pursuit of things that do not bring true happiness? Or will you embrace it? Will you slow down and savor the simple moments? Will you open your heart and let love in? Will you dare to follow your dreams, no matter how small they may seem? The choice is yours. I have lived long enough to know that the most valuable things in life are not things at all. They are the people we hold dear, the memories we create, and the moments that take our breath away. Live with no regrets. Love with no limits. Be present in every moment, so that when your time comes, you can leave this world knowing you gave it your all. And so, as I leave you with these words, I hope you take them to heart. I hope you choose to live. Not just exist, not just get by, but truly live. Because in the end, a life well lived is the greatest legacy of all.